Round one. DJ Debs versus the obstacles of life. Fight!
Welcome back to the channel, guys. A little bit of a gloomy day here in Utah, so everybody's all stuffy. It's just gloomy and rainy today. But what I wanted to show you is I wanted to talk about a little bit about how to protect our vehicles, because everybody's trying to steal these for some reason. Like, I mean, we know why. We like them, we love them, and we don't want to pay for them either. But that doesn't mean you should go and steal one, right? So how do we protect our cars? What are some of the ways that we're going to protect it? And we're going to install this. So this is basically a neutral safety cover. So what it does is this little thing right here goes over your safety pull switch and prevents it from being pulled. So if they break your window, they can't pull the neutral switch and roll it out and steal your car. So that's one way, and we're going to talk about a couple other ways, and mainly one other way that I think is the best way to protect your car when you're out and about if you don't want to spend a lot of money. So let's get into it. All right, guys, well, it's no surprise. We're talking about this topic again. You know, everybody's talking about it right now. It seems like our Mopars are getting stolen at an insane rate, right? You know, if you have a Charger, a Challenger, a Trackhawk, I mean, even a 392, if you have these high power engines, are getting stolen at rapid rates, right? It's no surprise. Everybody's talking about it in the country. I happen to be outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, so the crime rate's not terrible here yet. We have some car theft rings going on, but nothing to the level of somewhere, say Detroit or Chicago or even North Carolina. You hear Knockout 360 talking about his area up there all the time with these getting stolen. But what I wanted to talk about is how do we protect our cars when we're traveling, right? So, you know, we're coming up going to Vegas. A bunch of us are taking our cars up to Vegas. So aside from, and even if you valet your car, that doesn't guarantee it's not going to get stolen. So if we're at a hotel in Las Vegas, you know, how do we prevent our Mopars from getting stolen with them? We're going to go into that today, and I wanted to show you the easiest trick if you're traveling, the easiest thing you could do to prevent somebody from stealing your car with the, remote key thing and stuff like that. So let's get into it. All right, so to me, the easiest thing if you're traveling, get in here, get under your Mopar, the majority of them are in the front here, and locate the starter fuse, right? So we're just gonna basically pull the starter relay or the starter fuse and take that with us. So basically if you're out and about and somebody's looking to steal your Mopar and they get in and they have the key reprogram and they go to start it and they don't have the starter relay or the starter fuse plugged in, they either gotta have a spare with them or they gotta jump it. So okay, so the relay starter is this one right here, and the relay fuse, the starter fuse rather. So the starter relay is this, the starter fuse is this one. This is your little fuse puller. So the smaller end is to pull these small fuses, and the larger end is to pull these larger fuses. So basically just get that under there. You can pull these pull that fuse out, pull that starter relay out. That's gonna give a barrier to entry for someone stealing our cars when they're parked, overnight or in an area that is susceptible to getting stolen. Jump it. So if you take that item out, one or both of those items out, and they're nowhere to be found in your car, basically the thief is not going to be able to steal your car. So, aside from putting it on a truck and actually trailering it away, right? And that's where the neutral switch comes in. So we're going to install that today, but this is the easiest way. All right, so let me show you what's actually included. So if you order the transmission pull cover plate from 1320 Destroyer, this is what's going to be included. It's a pretty simple package. You're just going to get the plate that goes over your transmission. It comes there, and then you've got the two screws. So these are square screws. You've got an instructional video basically telling you what to do, void scratching, tamper-proof screws. Do not use the drill to install the screws. So just read those instructions. You can scan that video and watch their actual video on how to install. Now, some tools you're going to need to do this is you're going to want some pry tools, at least one of these plastic pry tools. Get these pretty cheap. You're also going to need, so the square is a square 2 So this little square bit, you're gonna need a square too. So there's a small one or a larger one that I already have from another set. And then if you want to take off the shifter handle, you're gonna need a T25 bit. So the easiest thing I found is I keep one of these in one of my cars. This just actually has all of it in it. It's got a mini stubby wrench, a mini handle, and then actually all those bits. It's got the T25 and the square in it. So if you get a little kit like this from Home Depot or Riley or somewhere, it looks like this one's probably Home Depot if it's a Husky brand. So we're gonna use that. So let's get into it and start getting this torn apart. All right, guys, I got some extra lighting installed in here. Hopefully that helps. It's kind of a gloomy day, so I have the lighting. So we're just gonna pop this tray out to get started. Throw that aside. You can pop this plate out if you want. I think the instructions say to not install this plate once we install it, so we can get that plate out and leave that out. But basically all we're gonna do is pry this open around the edges. Let's get these things out of the way. There. Glasses and stuff out of there. So your little rubber mat there, you could take that out, cleaning and everything else. And then basically there's four circlips, spring-loaded clips in the corners that will keep those in there. So you could just start prying into the side. Some people, some of the videos, people will tell you just to pop these sides out, so you can kind of pull these sides out a little bit. If you want to pop those out, that makes it easier. So we'll do that real quick, just because that seemed to be pretty easy. Have my little blue trim. I'll just take this out, because that's gonna have to be popped back in there once we get this over. So now to give you access to where those go. So now we can simply just start prying here. See if we can pull these up real quick. Try to figure out what the best way. Looks like just pulling it. Seems to be easy, just to kind of pull that out a little bit. You'll hear them pop open. These back two clips, let's see. These ones will probably be the tighter ones. So tighter ones to get in there. Get your hands in there. That one's out. That one's out. All right. So now once you have those clips popped off, you could probably, with the stubby one, we could get in there. I think those screws are an 8mm is what that is. So we should be able to get in there without taking this off. But let me see if I can show you. If you want to take this off, there's a T25 screw right there that you'll have to do. Obviously you have to undo this light clip for the drive lights and all that stuff. So you undo that, and then you do that T25 back there to take the handle off. I think with how tight this is, with how open this is, pretty sure I'll just be able to install that without removing this. So I'm not gonna remove it. So it's up to you, whatever you guys wanna do. But I'm just gonna kind of keep it out of the way and work on it. So what the thieves are doing is they're breaking in, they're just prying this open real quick with the screwdriver, just popping that bad boy out. And then it gives you access to that nylon pull right there. So this is basically how they're pulling it into neutral. That's your neutral release switch. So they're pulling it into neutral, pushing your car a block or two away, and then redoing a key and firing it up. So you're not going to hear your car, because most of us, the engines are loud as it is, even if you're factory or stock. But most of us have some exhaust modification. So that's what the plate's going to do, is cover that up. So we're going to take these screws off so we can put those two in and go from there. All right, now that we got those two screws out, you're not going to be using these again, these 8mm. You're going to use these secure square tip ones just to help prevent a little bit more in case they do pop this open and try to get that cover off to access this. So what I did was I just put this strap, just like a little clip there. I just kind of put the strap there, so it's going to be tucked under there. And then you'll notice on the back, you got this one from Destroyer 1320. It tells you which way to go the front. So we're just gonna go here and put that on the front and install these two screws. So I've switched to the square bit, obviously. So I'm using the longer one just to give me a little bit more angle in there, but you're basically gonna just put these square tip in and that piece will be installed. All right, so got those screws tightened down, the square screws, you can see those down in there. So just tighten those down and it's in place. So, you know, the whole thing is to put it into neutral, that whole switch has to come out. So, you know, even if that strap's out, you know, they're not gonna be able to put it in neutral, but you know, just be as careful as you can. Obviously, if you're gonna do this, you wanna make sure it's as safe as you can. And looking at the instructions right here, it says, hey, you know, this replaces the silly plastic cover under your cabin holder, key holder. Do not reinstall the small plastic piece. So I've got that popped out. That's a small plastic piece. So basically, when we put this all back together, we're just going to leave that open, and that's what's going to be underneath your Dodge coin holder thing there. So. Okay, put this back together. Just gonna line up these clips, those little clips here, and pop them back into place. So that's it there. Push these sides back in, and then we're gonna take this piece back. This little dust cover coin holder thing back in there, and that's it. Put that back in there. But so now thieves get in, they can't easily put your thing into neutral. And this, I'm gonna put the little trim piece back in. This just shoves back in here, just wedges back in onto the side of there. So nothing fancy here, but that's something kind of cool. Just kind of ran this all the way around just to kind of match the blue. I did replace these paddle shifters with Hellcat paddle shifters, so that's kind of nicer. Gives you a little bit more feel over this stock Scat Pack. So if you'd like to see a video on that, let me know. And yeah, get this put back together and we'll finish this up. All right, guys, that about wraps this one up. If you got value out of the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. It would really help me out. But you know, the bottom line is, you are the most important asset in your life. Somebody loves you. Somebody wants you around more than these cars. We're gonna be dealing with people trying to steal our cars, trying to steal our stuff, as long as we have it, right? You are the most important thing. So don't put yourself in harm's way over a car or anything else. That's what insurance is for. Make sure you stay safe, you stay alive. See you in the next one.
Don't you know that you're beautiful?